Welcome to the final presentation in the menu planning series, and this is where we look at recipe renovation. So the objective of this session is to renovate your recipes using different ingredients and healthier cooking methods. And we're going to do that by changing ingredients, using healthier cooking methods, and having a look at some of the ways that you can modify a recipe to make it healthier. And we'll organise this per the essential food groups. So when we look at changing ingredients for breads, grains and cereals, we should try to use rye, whole grain, wholemeal and high fibre white wherever possible. Try swapping pizza dough and use wholemeal, whole grain muffins or pita breads instead for the base. And try a mix of wholemeal and white flour if you can't quite convert to 100% wholemeal flour. For our dairy foods, milk, yoghurt and cheese should be low or reduced fat varieties except for children under 2. Cream could be replaced with reduced fat evaporated milk. Sour cream could be replaced with reduced fat natural yoghurt, or you could add some lemon juice to reduced fat evaporated milk. And your coconut cream or milk could be replaced with a coconut flavoured reduced fat evaporated milk. For our meat and meat alternatives, we need to choose lean meats, remove the fat and skin before cooking, dry fry mince and drain the fat before you use it, and use legumes such as chickpeas or lentils instead of meat on some occasions. With our fruit, try cooking fruit without sugar. You can add apple for extra sweetness and use spices such as cinnamon for other flavours. If using tinned fruit, always choose the fruit in natural juice or possibly try a pie filling. And try a low-calorie jelly set with fruit or yoghurt. For our vegetables, we could avoid peeling if possible, but do be aware for younger children this could be a choking hazard. Try and add extra vegetables wherever you can. So for example, adding grated carrot and zucchini and finely chopped mushrooms, onions and tomatoes to a bolognese sauce. Add extra vegetables to sandwiches, burgers, wraps, soup, salads and in pizza toppings. With our fats, try to avoid butter, lard and cooking fats, and instead choose the poly and monounsaturated oils and spreads such as canola or olive. Try and reduce the overall amount of fat and oil you use when cooking. And you could try avocado or hummus as a spread instead of margarine. When baking sweet goods, try and reduce the sugar. You can actually get this down to 1/4 cup per 1 cup of flour. Add fruit and spices to muffins and cakes for added sweetness and flour. Again, you could substitute wholemeal flour for half of the white flour. You can add oats or bran for extra fibre. And try unsweetened apple puree or mashed banana or low-fat yoghurt as a substitute for fat when baking. So with our savoury pastry goods, we could try phyllo pastry, brush with milk, egg white, juice or oils, and try and choose a pastry made with oil rather than butter. Dressings, use salad dressings and mayonnaise labelled 100% or as close to fat-free. Make sure that you used oil-based dressings made from canola, sunflower or olive oils. And you could consider your own dressings from balsamic, other vinegars, lemon juice, mustard, herbs and spices and low-fat yoghurt. So we've looked at ingredients, now let's look at some healthier cooking methods. So these include stir-frying, steaming, microwaving, roasting or baking, grilling. So make sure that you limit your added oil and make sure that you choose a canola, sunflower or olive oil. So let's have a look at renovating a couple of recipes now. So we've got a steak and mushroom pie and we've got some chocolate muffins. So let's see if we can't make these a healthier option. Now there is a fact sheet on the website for you which does include both of these recipes as well, so you can print that off and write your notes on that as we go along. So here's our steak and mushroom pie. So we've got the ingredients and the method of cooking. So when you actually consider modifying a recipe, you need to ask yourself the following questions. Is it healthy? Can ingredients be left out? Can we increase any? Can we decrease any? Can a substitute be used? So think about the steak and mushroom pie and think up some suggestions that you might be able to make to modify this recipe to make it healthier. So why don't you pause this presentation now, and then we can go through the renovations on the next slide. So let's have a look at our steak and mushroom pie and the ingredients and see what changes we might be able to make. So when we think about the amount of meat, we only actually need 500 grams of steak, and we could add 200 grams of kidney beans to make up the protein there. Instead of the butter, we could use a tablespoon of canola oil. With the salt and pepper, we would lose the salt and add some more herbs. With the stock, make sure you're using a salt-reduced stock. And instead of using frozen puff pastry, we could use a phyllo pastry, which is lower in fat. And then we could add some extra veggies, carrots, peas, corn, broccoli, anything you like. Just get some more vegetables in there. Now when we look at the method, there are a couple of things we could do here. So we need to make sure that we trim the fat off the meat. We also, as previously mentioned, will remove the salt and we'll add some more herbs. Now we're not going to line the pie dish and top it. We'll lose the lining and just have a pie crust, so we're only using half of the pastry. And then we're going to serve this pie with some steamed seasonal vegetables to increase the vegetable content. So let's look at the recipe and ask ourselves, is it healthy? Well, it could have been better. Can we leave any ingredients out? Yes, we're going to leave the salt out. Have we increased anything? We've increased vegetables, legumes and herbs. We've decreased the amount of meat and the pastry. We've substituted phyllo pastry for puff, and we've used canola oil instead of butter. And then we've made sure we've trimmed the fat, we've added herbs, and we've served this with veggies. So now we have a much healthier steak, bean and veggie pie instead of our steak and mushroom pie that we started with. So moving on then to our chocolate muffins. Again, we've got the ingredients and we've got the method. Same checklist. Ask yourself, is it healthy? What can we leave out? What can we increase or decrease? And what substitutes can we use? So have a think again, pause the presentation and think about how you would modify this recipe and make it healthier. So let's have a look at some ideas for the ingredients for these chocolate muffins. So we're going to substitute half of the white flour and use some wholemeal instead. We're going to lose the cocoa powder. We're going to reduce the sugar to 1/4 cup. We are going to reduce the dark choc chips to 1/4 cup. Instead of the oil, we're going to use a mashed banana. We're going to make sure that our milk is high-low, and we're going to add 1/4 cup of raisins and some mixed spice for additional flavour. So with our method, we're going to double the quantity that we're going to make. So instead of using a 12-hole muffin pan, we'll use a 24-hole muffin pan and make mini muffins. So we've adapted the flour, we've omitted the cocoa, reduced the sugar and chopped chips, replaced the oil with banana, and we've added spice and rums. So what modifications did we make? Again, in terms of healthiness, it could have been better. We've left out the oil and the cocoa. We've increased fruit with raisins and banana, and we've added some spice. We've decreased the sugar and the chopped chips. We've substituted some of the white flour for wholemeal, and we've increased the number that we've made and made smaller serve sizes. So in conclusion, we've looked at renovating our recipes to make them healthier. We've looked at using different ingredients and healthier cooking methods. So to conclude the menu planning series, We looked at food groups and serve sizes, using a nutrition checklist to check your 2 weekly menus. We've looked at tips to help meet serve sizes, assessed recipes to ensure that they do include the correct amount of ingredients for a serve size, and we've looked at renovating recipes to make them healthier. I hope you've enjoyed this series and would appreciate your feedback on the community forums. Thank you.